We're chasing down some new details now that have emerged from the anti-Putin protests that have been sweeping Russia lately. Our Ian Lee is following this and a couple of other stories from around the globe this morning. Ian, what can you tell us?
Oh, good morning, Amory. So those Russian protests were some of the largest seen since Vladimir Putin took office. Now the European Union is threatening possible sanctions. Over the weekend, tens of thousands of Russians took to the streets across the country's 11 time zones. Police cracked down with a heavy hand, arresting more than 3,000 people. Detained opposition leader Alexei Navalny called for the demonstrations. Now the EU says if he isn't released, Moscow could face possible sanctions. Representatives of the EU's 27 member states met yesterday for a rare in-person meeting. Baltic countries, Italy, and Romania are pushing for a tougher stance, while Germany wants to give Moscow 30 days to release Navalny. Next, we are in Italy, where Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte is resigning despite surviving 2 confidence votes in the country's parliament last week. Political pressure has been building. Opposition leaders are angry over his handling of the economic fallout from the pandemic. Conte offered his resignation to the president, who is likely to invite him to build a new coalition government. The prime minister would need to add 5 more seats to form a governing majority. Despite the political pressure from the opposition, though, Conte still enjoys relatively high approval ratings. Next, we are in the Netherlands, where protesters continue after a weekend of unrest. More than 150 people were arrested as riots swept the country. Police fired warning shots and tear gas, while protesters responded with rocks, fireworks, and even lit fires. And this anger stems from new coronavirus restrictions, including a nationwide curfew. Dutch police described this as the worst unrest in 4 decades. The prime minister has condemned the protesters as criminal, who will be treated as such. Finally, we're in India, where tens of thousands of farmers are descending on the country's capital. In some places, they broke through barricades to interrupt today's Republic Day parade. Police clashed with demonstrators, firing tear gas to disperse them, and they're angry over new market-friendly reforms that they say would make them vulnerable to corporate takeovers. And the government has offered to put their decision on hold, but farmers say they won't settle for anything short of a repeal. And Anne-Marie, economists, experts, they all agree that these reforms are long overdue, as Indian agriculture deals with declining productivity and lack of modernization.
Interesting stuff, Ian. Thank you very much.